Alright, so this video is going to be something new to our channel. I have been wanting to kind of share a little bit of like what we're going through with life, actually share life with you guys, and not just like these like, oh, this is super fun, we get to do this all the time. Our life is always a blast.
Always the highlights. It's like the top 10 on ESPN.
I don't know what that means.
Guys reference.
Yeah. There's been something I've been struggling with. I can't even say we've been struggling with it. Like, I'm out here on a limb by myself.
I'm sorry.
He's got it all figured out.
I don't have it all figured out. It's just not something that's bothering me.
I'm not gonna drag you down with me. Has anyone out there ever heard of imposter syndrome?
I had not.
I'd heard of it briefly. And I was always like, oh, I don't understand how people could ever feel like an imposter in what they're doing. And then we started making videos. A little backstory, I have never picked up a camera until really honestly...
We've picked up a camera,
well,
you just haven't done it with
I've picked
film.
up like a camera, okay?
That didn't count as a camera.
The iPhone definitely counts as a camera. Basically, I've taken pictures. I haven't like actually gone into something with a camera in hand with the intention of creating something. So we started making these videos back in January, and mainly because we love watching different travel vloggers on YouTube, and I also did not want to be saving a million videos and pictures from our travels and our life. I wanted to actually document our family.
We really wanted to showcase, you know, a lot of the things that we were doing and experiencing in our lives, and especially with London, you know, getting to travel a little bit. The start of the year was just phenomenal because I'd never been out of the country, and then we go to all these countries at one time, and it was just, you know, it was such a blur that, you know, doing this vlogging and stuff like that, to put these videos together really helped capture all those moments and everything. And so, you know, fast forward a few months, we decided to do this on our local area. Basically,
we're like, we can't travel all year long.
No.
Like, some people can, and they're full-time travelers and hashtag goals, but we are not those people. We have full-time jobs. We have a son who is in 2nd grade. And so we have schedules, and we also have budgets.
Yes.
And so until we travel hack our way into being able to fly all over the world with our current budget.
I like the hands.
I don't know why I did that, but until we can do that,
it's like, let's make a deal.
We still work. So our thing was, how can we bring our love of vlogging our family travels to our home? How can we bring it into our own community here in Corpus Christi? And so we started the Corpus Christi travel series. We figured we could show like some of the best places to go eat, visit, shop, fun things to do. And we were like, if anything, like it'll help us get practice in so that when we do go overseas and when we do these trips, we actually know what we're doing.
Yeah, because
bless anybody who watched our Amsterdam vlogs. Like,
those were good.
They were cute.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
They were cute. And I mean, honestly, Amsterdam has got to be one of the most photogenic cities anyways.
Right.
But so we started doing this Corpus Christi travel series, and the response was not at all what I expected. We're making these videos, we're putting this out there. I mean, granted, like our YouTube channel isn't like blowing up, and we're not like rocking that 1-point-something million subscribers, like getting like thousands of views per video. But for us, we literally were having like, if we peaked at 40 views on one of our videos on the last go around, we were like, holy snaps, we're over 35. And like, it's up in the hundreds, and it's growing and it's growing. And it's just insane to me. Sorry, my phone keeps going off every single time. Anyways, we start getting met with I would say success in terms of what we're putting out there.
Yeah.
I'm very weird with how I view success. Like, I don't view success as like, oh, I have this, I have this, I have this much money, I've done this, I'm doing this. Like, to me, success is having contentment with who Christ made you, or who God made you to be. Mm-hmm. Like, contentment is being firm in your identity of who God created you, handpicked, selected, all the elements of your personality and character. Like, success is walking in that fullness to me.
Doing what you're called to do.
And so I thought I was doing what I was called to do. But honestly, I thought I was doing what I was called to do 3 years ago as well. And every other project that comes along, I'm like, this is what I was made for.
Yeah.
Like, at one point I was like, this was years back, I was like, I need to write a book. Like, I need to write a book. So
she did.
So I wrote a book, and I thought, that's what I'm called to do. That's how I'm gonna make a living. Anybody that's ever written a book out there knows, not really gonna pay your mortgage.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's not that you're not called to do.
I'll be real, writing. It takes so long to write a book.
Yeah, but the thing is you are good at it, and though you're not gonna make a lot of money on it.
I made $3.30 something cents off of my Kindle sales last month. I started finding this love of filmmaking. I've been told to call it filmmaking, not videography. I don't know why. I guess we storytell, and videography is more documenting, but I feel like we're kind of like in the middle. I start finding this love for filmmaking and storytelling. And honestly, I remember downloading Adobe Premiere just because I had seen it on some vlogger's channel on YouTube, and I was like, I'm gonna figure this thing out. Like, I can figure stuff like this out. That first night editing on that thing, I was like, what did I do? Like, I opened it up and I'm like, oh, it can't be that much different than like the movie app on my phone.
The movie app on your phone. We go from
I went from Windows Movie Maker, okay, where there's like 12 things that you can do, to like Adobe Premiere, where you can do everything. That's there, you get where my starting point was. Basically, I'm a very black or white person. Like, I'm either all in or I'm all out. Like, I don't feel like
This is very true.
I don't straddle, I don't entertain things that aren't, like, if it's done, close that door, move on. Like, just don't. And so we start doing this video thing, this filmmaking thing, and people are like introducing me as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, don't like that. And I was like, why don't I like that? And so I was like, okay, like, I know who I am in Christ. Yeah. I know who I was created to be. And all of a sudden I'm like, did you make me to do this? And I'm like, okay, if I'm doing it, obviously. But there's a lot of buts to this tonight. but. So, yeah. All of a sudden I find myself, when people are saying, oh, I love your vlog, or we've literally had people like pop out at us and be like, we watch you all the time. And I'm like, thanks. It's one of those things where you're like, I have no clue what I'm doing. It's being received very well. It's growing at a steady pace.
Yeah.
Which I love, because it's sustainable that way. Like, the black and white viewpoint from my head sees that, and I'm like, that has longevity. I can get behind that.
She loves analytics.
I need to know, like, is it proven, is it not? And the thing is with YouTube, nothing is proven. And hardly anything can be like traced.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. And then someone was telling us like, oh, like, you've got an eye for it. Your editing is really, really good. And I'm back here thinking, that looked terrible. Because like what I'm seeing up here, I have no idea how to put it like here. But as these people are saying, you're this, or I love this, all of a sudden I'm like, wait till you really find out that I'm a fraud. Or wait till you find out that that's not true. That's when this whole life stage, I guess you could say, of discovering a new element to creativity, I've loved, because I know the Lord is all over it. Like, there's been confirmation after confirmation, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And now I'm still sitting here battling this out. Like, when those thoughts are coming in, I'm having to be like, no, that's a lie. Like, I'll have these thoughts creep in where it's like, you're not creative. Like, this is all a sham. Like, wait until everyone finds out. Like, this whole thing's gonna come crashing down. Granted, it's not gonna go crashing far because it's still in the infancy. But my heart is 100% in it. Like, when I say black or white, I mean like 0 to 1,000. Like, I don't have a 75.
There's no middle ground.
Yeah, I have none. Those thoughts keep creeping in. And especially when there's something big on the horizon that we're working with. Just talking with creatives. Like, I reached out, I'm gonna get my phone and like read something to y'all. I reached out on my social media accounts asking if anyone even had interest in us doing this video, because if there was no interest, like, there's no point in us sitting here in like 10 o'clock at night filming this for you guys. And so I asked if this was something, and was met with like a bunch of people saying yes, or people saying, what's imposter syndrome? So then I started to explain it to them, and they were like, oh my gosh, there's a word for what I'm dealing with. Like, it's not a legit mental disorder by any means. It's literally a war of your mind.
Yes.
That's all it is. And somebody goes, this is so tied in to even what you're worth when you start to create. Like, for those people that are doing this as a side hustle or their main jobs, and they're a full-time photographer, a full-time filmmaker, a full-time videographer, whatever it might be, cinematography, and someone goes, I struggle with that. Who am I to be charging this much? And I was like, okay, I'm not charging, so I don't really understand that. And so someone else says, yeah, I started working in a gym years back when I was not fit. And so I felt like I was a fraud working in that industry.
Every business, every field has to have some sort of creative flow.
Yeah.
Because, you know, even the most mundane jobs, you have people coming up with new ideas to make things better.
But touching to that, like, that means every industry presents the opportunity for you to either choose to run wild with those thoughts of imposter syndrome, or to catch them, nip them in the bud, and toss them out.
Right.
And so I was asking, like, those people that did reach out that talked about handling it or how they've dealt with it, like, they were like, I document my successes. They're like, I don't need reminders of my failures, because those things for some reason want to try and stick around. I was like, that's actually really good. They're like, write down like the good things that have happened.
Yeah.
And continue to write a dream goal of like where you would like it to go. And I thought that was absolutely beautiful, because I was like, you can sit down with the Lord and pray about it and see what his line of what he wants you to do next is. Like, I think that's so important to keep in mind. Like, it's all in your mind. Like, it all comes down to this point of like how you handle imposter syndrome. I don't, like, as I've shared this with Colton, my best friend, my dad, I don't sit there and say my imposter syndrome. I don't take ownership of it.
No.
Because the thing is, it's not created by God, so I'm not going to grasp onto that. Like, I'm going to be like, peace, you got to go. Someone will be like, I love your videos. I'm like, oh, thank you. We're just trying to do our best.
Oh,
or like, well, thank you so much. Like, it's really a team effort. When there's certain videos that I love you, but have been almost 95% my baby. Like, I've done the filming, I've done the editing. It was something in my head that came out, and it was awesome. And instead of being like, thank you, I'm like, oh yeah, we're still learning. Like, why? No. This evening I got out of a work function and was checking emails literally in my car, because I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't start driving. It was totally the Holy Spirit, because I was like, I should check my emails right now while I'm in the parking lot in the dark. Like,
perfect time.
Perfect timing, like best atmosphere.
Yes.
So I'm like checking my emails, and I have somebody reach out from a huge organization.
Yeah.
Like huge. That had found out that we would be traveling somewhere because of a video we had done on our YouTube channel. And it wasn't even like our like most popular upload. Like, they hadn't, like, I honestly was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, the doors that they're opening to sit there and say, we'd love for you to come do this. Like, we are for what you're putting out. That right there is when imposter syndrome hits for me. I mean, I literally had to screenshot the email and like send it to my best friend, and I sent it to my dad. I think I sent it to my aunt as well, because I was like, this is insane. Like, this makes no sense. And that's the thing is, I don't think anybody who has ever had like a video go viral or has created like a documentary that has like been this huge trending thing or produced this product or this design that is all of a sudden just this like huge slam dunk. I don't think they've ever been like, yep, I knew it was going to go just like that. I expected this the whole time. I think there's a great point in having like expectancy that, or hope. I think there's a good thing in having hope that it could be.
Yes.
And in trying to see further than where your own mind can take it. Yeah. I think that's where it comes to sitting down with Jesus and being like, okay, like, show me 100-year vision of what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Like, is what I'm doing right here going to benefit someone 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, 100 years down the road? Like, is this building something for more than just myself? So when people reach out and it's bigger than what you have ever qualified yourself for, and I say qualified yourself because the thing is, you don't qualify yourself. Like, the Lord has already qualified you.
It's how you're qualifying yourself up here.
I know we all keep going. I'll literally be editing and I'll have worship music playing and all of a sudden hear that you have no clue what you're doing, and in my head I'm like, I sure do. Or I'll say, I sure as heck don't, but you know what, I'm gonna learn.
It's knowing that you can do more, that you can do better, and that you have not only faith in what your capabilities are, but what the capabilities are that God can do through you, because whatever you can think of, whatever grand dream you have, He's got one bigger for you. And being in a place of healthy expectancy, not like an
expectation and expectancy can be vastly different.
Yes.
Celebrate the little victories.
Yeah.
Like, I will never forget the first time I had like my first big transition we added into a shot. And it might not be huge to a lot of other people. And that's where the comparison has to stop, because that's where the imposter syndrome finds its root.
Right.
Is in comparing where you are today to where someone else is 10 years into their calling.
Yeah.
Like, into the same calling. Like, you have somebody who's been filmmaking since they could pick up a camera, and they're in their 40s now, and you didn't pick it up until last month or last year. Yeah, your skill sets are going to be different.
Yeah, and the big thing with that is it's very easy to compare your failures to other people's successes.
Oh,
because
yes.
You're not going to see their failures, because obviously, especially in this field, you're not going to see them because they're not publishing them.
No, because we edit those out.
Yeah, but there's still failures there.
And that's exactly why we're sharing this.
Yeah.
Because there's all these tutorials on the internet about, oh, this is how you do it, and I have production companies, and I have this. And those people are killing it, and they're doing awesome. But there are people like us who are in their 30s who are just now discovering a love for this.
Yeah.
They're like, I want to learn.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to put it out on the internet and see what can come of this.
Yeah.
How cool is it going to be in 10 years when London's 16, if he's still in love with this?
Yeah.
To be able to look back and be like, gosh, that was the first video I ever helped with. How cool is it going to be for us to look back in 16 to 20 years? That's a very specific age. 10 to 20 years. Sorry, got settled on London being 16. Look back and be like, do you remember that? Like, we're not going to be sitting there looking back on something we documented being like, gosh, that looks terrible. Think about old family films.
Yeah.
They were on VHS. They were super grainy. I mean, and they were long. Like, our parents just filmed stuff. They did.
Well, it took too long to get the stuff out. You were going to get your money's worth.
If you had to hold the camcorder like this,
you were
not going to put that down.
Took you an hour to get it up there.
You were probably rested against something. But we don't complain about those videos. We look back on that and we're like, oh my gosh, look how sweet, look how cute.
I know, and there wasn't even good transitions.
That's exactly the same thing that we're doing here today.
Yeah.
Is we're not creating to sit there and do these grandiose things, and that's where this whole imposter syndrome has to die.
Yes.
Because the imposter syndrome says you're not good enough, it's not worthwhile, nobody cares. But at the end of the day, if you're enjoying it, if it is calling you higher, if you're having an opportunity to do something that demands bravery from you, then
do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Like, I have to sit there whenever I'm thinking about it, I'm like, gosh, like, I'll catch myself watching the same travel vlogs that once inspired us to do what we're doing. And I'll watch it and I'll be like, gosh, man, I can't even get something close to that shot. And then I have to stop and be like, you didn't even know how to do a shot like that a year ago. And then I get, like, the Lord will pop these visions of, do you remember you filmed this?
Yeah.
Do you remember we did this together?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we did. We did do that. We filmed on top of the freaking Austrian Alps and it was amazing.
Yeah. So you can't get into the comparison mode because comparison is a creativity killer. It stifles everything that will advance, because the thing is if you're constantly trying to be like somebody else that you view as better, then you're only going to ever get to where they're at and do the exact same thing.
You're only going to be a copy.
Yeah.
Like, where is
There's never going to be anything new.
Well, like, I have to be cautious even in comparing, like, what we do. Mm-hmm. How we shoot. How we think it should be edited. Like, it's very hard because I'm sitting there, all I think sometimes is I'm like, oh my gosh, he has a degree in art. He has this. And I'm like, it's my husband. Like, he's like, no, like, do your thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, that's all you're doing is giving your permission, or giving yourself, that's all you're doing at the end of the day, is giving yourself permission to do your own thing.
Yes.
And to just run with it.
Yeah.
And so, to those of you dealing with imposter syndrome, kick it in the butt and tell it to leave.
Yes.
Because it is a bully and we don't entertain bullies. If you feel like you're struggling with imposter syndrome, reach out to somebody.
Yes.
Talk to someone about it. Like, I'm not saying you're gonna need counseling or like electroshock therapy, but I'm saying getting it out there and off your chest takes away its power.
Yes,
it takes the power away from the imposter syndrome dynamic that's saying, like, stay stuck. Yeah. It's taking away the power that says you're not in control. God is in control. And because I am a child of God, thus I carry authority to walk out the purpose God has destined for me from the beginning.
Yep.
So, suck it, imposter syndrome. If you guys feel like you don't have anyone you can reach out to, seriously drop a comment below. Check out the email that's in our About section over on our YouTube channel description. Like, seriously, like, talk with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have someone, take this as our invitation saying, we're here. Whether we can just sit there and exchange a little bit of information in terms of, like, what's your name? What are you dealing with? And we'll pray for you.
Yes.
And when we say we'll pray for you,
we do.
We'll pray for you. So that's my whole spiel here. This is going to be super fun to edit because this is like a 30-minute recording. I was like, it's going to be quick. It's only going to be like 5 minutes. We talk. What was I? No. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
He's not.
Jesus loves you and he wants you to be you.
We love you too.
Yes, we do.
Really do. So.
Thank you for watching. We hope this helps.
Yeah, so subscribe, like, do all the things, hit the bell. Ding. Hit the bell.
It sounds better than what I did it.
Hit the bell. And if you liked this video, share it with a friend. But I want to know, and I say I want to because I didn't discuss this with you before. We may both want to know if you've ever dealt with imposter syndrome and how you overcame it.
Yes, we want to know.
So let us know in the comments below if you've ever struggled with this and what practices and practical tips that you have for us or others who might be dealing with it. It might be good to just kind of be able to scroll through and read at some point. London literally told his teacher to subscribe.
He did.
This is what I'm talking about with imposter
syndrome.
This is what I'm talking about with imposter syndrome. Like, I low-key have been almost too... I've had to force myself to ask people to, like, support our channel and, like, hey, head over there, join us, like, subscribe. And our kid is, like, walking up into 2nd grade going, hey... I'm a YouTuber, and my parents and we have a YouTube channel. Are you subscribed? In front of his class. So if our 6-year-old can walk out this whole journey in confidence, at 30, I sure as heck can too. So there's that.
Yes.
So,